was about to say this is your tarot reading for January, but what I ought to say is this is our tarot reading for January, because yes, I am a Leo. You'll have to forgive me therefore for sometimes seeing it in terms of my own personal experience. But take what resonates and what doesn't, you can leave. I must emphasise that tarot is not fortune telling. It's about tapping into the energies that impact on our conscious and subconscious. We have free will and we can go with those energies that favour us, and we can try and transmute those that don't. The central card is a card, the two of Wands, a card of planning something maybe quite radical, something quite new, maybe even overseas. The past you look to as a time of multiple blessings, of happy families, of better times. And I think we all feel a bit like that. The past was objectively better. Right now you're doing more than simply planning. You're actually action planning. You're actually thinking of what can I be doing that is very different. Again, it might be overseas. It might be certainly far from where you are now. In the future we have the King of Cups, King of Love. Lovely card to have. The card that impacts on the outcome is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Love, some might say a fool for love. What would change the outcome is the Five of Cups. Did I call him Knight of Pentacles? I meant Knight of Cups if I did, sorry. The Five of Cups, somewhat pessimistic, looking on the bad side of things, cup half empty rather than half full. And the outcome is love, a divine love. Now, I'm already in a very loving relationship. So from my perspective, this isn't going to be a new love. It could be that our love grows stronger. Or it could be another form of love. A love for yourself, a love for humanity, a love of God. Let's try and unpack what all this means, though, Leo. As I say, the overall energy that dominates the reading, and therefore all the other energies, but also your January, is one of you planning, looking at different alternatives. They're probably quite radical alternatives that may involve moving, alternatives that may be overseas. There's certainly things taking you maybe outside of your comfort zone, something that you've not been used to in quite a while. And, you know, I certainly have been in something of a comfort zone. It's hard to call it a comfort zone when my movements were heavily restricted during the health crisis. But now I'm ready for new challenges, for new things. And inevitably that means moving outside this bubble that I've been in. So I can understand this. See the past as something of a golden age of plenty, a golden age of multiple blessings. Maybe a golden age of happy families, a golden age when things felt better. And I think we all feel a bit like that the past was better. We know things have changed and they will never go back to the past, even though we would like them to. And objectively, I think that's a true reflection of how society is now. But for me, that golden age was perhaps a very long time ago. And this is suggesting it's not so long ago. So I'm not entirely sure how to interpret it, except the energy of a sort of a view that the past was better, of looking backwards, and we shouldn't look backwards, and I don't think you are. Now, I've said that what characterises January is that of planning, but it goes further than that. You're actually planning a course of action. Again, something quite radical, maybe something overseas. So what you've been doing is you've been assessing the alternatives and now saying, okay, how would I go about putting these different alternatives into action? And again, I can absolutely identify with that. That, having been stymied as a result of the health crisis, stymied as a result of the fear porn there is in society, retreating to my mountain in Java to get away from society almost, but certainly to clear my head. I'm now wanting to do something. I'm now wanting to emerge. But I've got to say, I'm not sure what it is that I'm wanting to do. You seem to be much clearer now, though. In the future, we have a beautiful energy, the energy of the King of Cups, a king that's full of love for everyone and love for everything, a king that understands the subconscious of both himself and of others, a king that understands that he must first love himself in order to truly love others and love God. So I think this is a wonderful, wonderful card to have here. And as I say, it's the future. We've got other indications of love in this. So it's very much talking about love. But I'm not entirely certain how to interpret this love. And I'm only going from my own personal circumstances, and that is that I'm in a very loving relationship. And the card that leads to the outcome is the Knight of Pentacles. Now, normally, if we go from a king to a knight, you'd see that as retrograde. But the truth is that in terms of the man-made concept of linear time, the king is probably after the knight. So there's no alarm bells there. Yeah, the Knight of Love wears his heart on his sleeve. Sort of person that everybody loves. And he loves everybody. Now, you could see him as something of a gigolo. I don't really. I think people throw themselves at him. And he's just so full of love that he behaves in ways that may seem like being a gigolo. I hope this isn't what's going to happen to me, because as I say, I've got a very loving relationship. But yeah, I have been something of a gigolo at times, but I don't want to go back to it. I think this is much deeper. I don't think it's about physical love. I think it's about simply understanding that love isn't about control. Love isn't about ownership. It's about your heart. And I think your heart is being opened in January. And I think I've got this right, that we're talking about love as a sort of a concept, as a feeling, rather than physical love. Because what would change the outcome is you being pessimistic. You're looking on the negative side of things. You see in your glass as half full rather than, half empty rather than half full. Not spotting the wonderful opportunities that exist for you. And of course you've been engaged in action planning, you've been engaged in considering the alternatives. Have you been too pessimistic in this planning? I don't know. Maybe you have, but I think this is just a warning not to allow negative thinking to destroy the wonderful energies that are coming to you, Leo. And the outcome is the Lover's card. There's no doubt, Leo, that if your heart is full of love, as it clearly is in January, you will attract offers, and if that's what you want, you will get them. But if that's not what you're looking for, then rise above this love of ownership and control and fill yourself full of real love, divine love, because it's being sent by God, Allah, the universe. It's a blessing for you. Fill your heart full of love. Yeah. It's the sort of love where you've got nothing to hide. There is no ego. Where you're naked. And if we are talking of love for humanity, you're naked to humanity. You're quite happy for your failings to be exposed. You don't wish to defend yourself anymore. Yeah. I mean, you know, as I say, if you're looking for love, it will come to you. But this does feel something more profound and more divine. Am I right? Because I'm going to seek clarification. But I've got this horrible feeling that clarification can only mess up this reading. But I'll do it. Reluctant though I am to mess up this reading, I'm seeking clarity on your pessimism. Why are you somewhat pessimistic? And the first card we get is the Queen of Wands. The Queen's a lovely queen, but she does tend to use people. Is this you using people or other people using you? The next card of clarity is the Tower card. An unexpected end to things. And the final card is the Nine of Cups. So love again. Love, blessings. Being by yourself. Don't know what to make of it. Let's look at each individually. First card is the Queen of Wands. Now she is a lovely queen, but it's very much about working with others. Is working with others the thing that's making you somewhat pessimistic? I think it could be. She's somebody that gets the best out of others, but could be accused of manipulating them a little. It's only a possibility. And maybe your plans that you're making involve others, and others at this stage aren't going along with you. You know, there's something very frustrating when you're planning things for other people. You're acting quite selflessly, and they don't want to go along with you. Could that be it? Could that be it? I've got the feeling it might be. And now we have a tower moment, the energy of the tower. Things come tumbling down, building a house on the wrong foundation, needing to rebuild things. It's often necessary. Are you thinking of times in the past of when you've had to do this? It could be. It could be. It could be there's another tower coming to you that upsets you. But as I say, it's a necessary thing. Or could it be simply that others, as I say, others don't want to go along with your plans? And it means you resetting your plans. I think given the other cards that's much more likely. And so this is just saying, look, it's all well and good planning for others, but if they don't want your plans, don't push it on them. I think I've got this right now. I do. Because we have a card of you getting multiple blessings for being on your own. And now, I don't think we should read too much into these clarifications. I think they're just a warning to you to not rush ahead with plans that others, or don't foist plans on others. And you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe I'm better off by myself. And maybe you are, maybe you are. But don't get depressed about it, is really the message. And I can illustrate this. I'm manifesting at the moment. Manifesting for a better life for me and my family here in Indonesia. Both my daughters, I've paid for them to go to good universities, very good universities. Both have done extremely well. But the labour market for graduates in Indonesia isn't what it should be. And both, I think, are struggling a little to get on their feet. Well, the one's already nearly 30. She's still yet to have a career of any sort, So I'm thinking to myself, well, look, you've been an entrepreneur in the past. You've created jobs for those around you. Why can't you do it again? But supposing this opportunity comes to me, and there's every indication my manifestations are going to work, and they don't actually want to be a part of it, what do? Well, it's saying, don't get depressed. Look on the bright side. You can probably do this without them. Maybe change your plans, because if so many of the plans were to create a career for them, then think of yourself. And if you can make yourself happy, then those around you will be happy. And it goes wider than that. If you can be happy, it will have an impact on the whole world to some degree. Leo, at the end of the day, this is a lovely reading for January. Forgive me, but it seems very personal to me, so I can only illustrate from what's happened to me. It's characterised by planning and action planning. For me, this is also tied up in manifesting. It's also all about love and families. And you look to the past as a golden age of families. And you're trying to plan things plan things for your family, and it may be that your family don't want to be a part of those plans. And what you've always done in the past when you do things for people and they're not happy is you get annoyed. And this is just another test from the universe saying, it's nothing to be annoyed about, you know. You assumed people would fit into this, fit into that, and they don't want to. That's up to them. Do things for yourself, make yourself happy, and those around you will be happy, and the world will be happy. But it's also a reading about love. And if you fill your heart full of love, you will attract love. Now, if you're looking for love, you will find love in January. It's so strongly accentuated. For me, I already have love. And I think this reading is, you know, if I'm willing to change my plans because my family don't want to go along with my plans, then they will love me even more. They will love me even more. And it's hard to see how they could, but you know, I think that's what it's about. It's about you being guided by love rather than the ego, as you always have been. So yes, it's another little test, but it's one that I think you get through, and you get through admirably.